Hey Harsha, good evening. Is my voice clear and is the screen visible? Great, great, great. Christy says I was facing issues with installing Ubuntu. Okay, Christy. Was there any class happened at the starting regarding the Ubuntu installation? System hanged. Okay, then your specifications would be very low. If Mamoon the system hanged, then the specifications are very low. Oh, it was based on VirtualBox. Okay. Mhm. In that class, okay, in that class, they did not tell you about dual booting the system, how to dual boot the system. No. Okay. So what I am going to suggest also, what I was going to suggest today, that just see what I am doing. Okay, just relate the things. Do not code with me. Okay, do not code with me today. So today I cannot tell you exactly how I can help you about it. Okay, so what we can do is either we can arrange a session tomorrow or sometime to have you dual boot your system. Okay, because currently I am not also well versed with installing the dual boot system, right? So I have to be well informed before taking a session on that. Okay, guys. So today, just follow along what is happening. Okay, you just have even though you try to code with me now, you'll face difficulties. So it's completely fine if you do not have the Ubuntu installed today. So just follow along and just see what I am doing. It's completely fine. Okay, and then I'll try to do something for you guys who are not able to install the Ubuntu or dual boot it, and then we can Vishnu, it's your wish if you want to code along with me. But one thing I would say, try try to avoid the doubts you are facing while writing the code. Okay, Vishnu? Because it's quite possible the doubts are because of something else, some things are missing. If you have doubt in understanding things, then ask me. But if you're coding along with me, na, try having less doubts and try putting those doubts on the scalar chat. Okay, guys, whoever would be coding along me, try avoiding the doubts if your code is not working. Okay, there might be many kinds of problem while you are coding. So try to avoid those kind of doubts. Just ask me doubts which you do not understand, the things you do not understand while I am coding. Okay, and I'll Christy says from now onwards, will it be Linux based? Christy, it will be just this project thing will be Linux based. Other than that, the coding you can do it anywhere. You can do coding on Windows, you can do coding on Ubuntu. Why it is suggested on Ubuntu? Because most of the things work fine on Ubuntu, but to work those things in Windows itself, you have to do a lot of jugaad type of things. So that's why if you have Windows, other than after today's class and after tomorrow's class, after these two classes, the DSA is completely fine with Ubuntu. But when you are going into development section in February, the 1.5 month of development, then it's quite possible the person who would be teaching you development, he might ask you to have Ubuntu only. Okay, so just follow along on today's class. I'll get somebody to have you guys a session on how to dual boot the system, or I'll share some resources from which you can do that stuff. Okay, Christy, is it fine? Just understand the things what I am doing, why I am doing. Okay, this thing, this yes, Map OS is definitely fine. This thing, the project building is targeting just to tell you how you build a project, how you build a multi files project. It is not that we want you to exactly code that thing and we want you to work. We want you to tell, until now you were coding in a single line, in a single file, right? We just want to give you a taste how multi files are managed in C++, or how a project, when you are building a project, how you think. Okay, guys. So this complete project, or this simple thing which we are going to build, is completely based on making you understand how you take a project, and how you proceed to it. So don't worry about anything if you do not have setup today. It's completely fine. Okay, guys. Any more issues? Yes? Any more issues to anyone? Great, great, great. So let me first present you what we are trying to build in the upcoming 2 or 3 classes. Is a black screen, terminal like screen visible to you guys? Great, great, great. So this is what we are trying to build in these upcoming 2 classes. This snake game we are trying to build. There is a snake and there are food particles over there. There is a border, there is a boundary. If you strike that boundary, the game would be over. Okay, this is the thing we are going to build. We are try to build in next 2 or 3 classes. Now, the final thing which I will build in 2 classes might not look like this. Like it might not look that much colorful. The reason behind is I would leave that stuff to you guys to improve it, to provide it colors or to provide it more functionalities. Right? I'll most probably leave it to you. If I'll see if I'll cover it or not, I'll decide on that in next class. But eventually the functionalities will be same. The snake will be moving and the snake will grow and the snake can eat the food. Okay, guys? Yes. And as soon as it strikes the ball, the game is over. Great, great. So shall we start? Great. So before straight away jumping to coding, I just want to I just want you guys to go through a basics of multi-files and the basics of compilation process. It is quite possible that until now you're not well versed with the compilation process, and it is also possible after today. Also, there are many things which will be left which you cannot understand today only in compilation process. But I'll just want to give an overview of some things. Okay, guys? So let us start with it. So yeah. So can anybody tell me what does it mean to compile the program? Can anybody tell me what does it mean to compile the program? What does it mean? To read into operations. So we start doing operations, Prantik? In while compiling, we start doing operations? Right, Roshan, right. Yes, yes, Yash. So mainly in a very, no, we do not execute the code until in the compilation process. We do not execute the code. The only thing is, what is the compilation? It is process of translating C++ code, process of translating C++ code to a basic machine code, to a program, to an executable program. We do not yet execute the program, but we try to bring it in a form which my computer can understand, which is an executable code. So process of translating C++ code into an executable code. And what I mean by this executable, which my computer can understand, which my machine can understand. Okay, guys, so this is the very basic definition of compilation. So, Sambit, we haven't done anything yet. I just showcased the project we are going to build, and now I am asking, what is the definition of compiling? What do you understand by compiling? So, somebody said, sir, executing or executing the program. So, in compilation, nothing executes. In compilation, nothing executes. Your program doesn't execute. We are just converting your program from a high-level language to a low or to a machine code, which your computer can understand, to an executable form which your computer can execute. Okay, guys, is this definition clear? So let me actually bring the diagram. So this is your source code. Let's say this is your source code. Now your compilation process has multiple steps. So the very first, there are 3 steps, three large steps. There are multiple steps within, but three large steps. So the very first step is, the very first step is preprocessor step. Preprocessor. We discussed this step in some class, I do not remember in which class, we discussed a bit about this step. The next step is actually compiling or the compilation. And the last step is linking or the linker. These three steps combine together and give eventually us the machine code. Give eventually us the machine code or the executable code. Okay guys, so these three steps and largely is actually what we call compilation. Now sometimes somebody refers to compilation only with this middle step, and sometimes in large, when for an example, when we are writing the code on REPL, right? When we are writing the code on REPL and then we are pressing the run button. So these three steps happens there, and eventually execution also happen. Machine code will be evaluated and then it will be executed also. So the REPL thing is kind of an IDE, which is an integrated development environment. It's kind of an online IDE. So what happens with, there are two things. Either there are code editors and there are IDEs. So code editor basically helps you to write the code, and then you can give the commands by manually give the commands and your code will run. And there are IDEs like code blocks, like your REPL online IDE. So these helps you, these hides all the steps between writing the code and eventually getting the output. They hide the code, they hide every command. You just have to press a run button and everything will be done. So sometimes the code editor itself says the possible error. So is there any compilation done in the event of writing the code itself? Okay, Yogeshwar says, sir, sometimes the code editor itself says the possible error. So it is because our code editor is so powerful nowadays. So our code editor are itself powerful nowadays. So what they do, they try to, when we are writing the code, they eventually try to find out where this lies. They eventually try to connect the dots. But compilation is not happening at that time, guys. It's just the power of our code editor which is allowing us to see the error at that time only. Okay, Ganesh? Anshul, what do you want me to repeat? Please, can you just elaborate? What do you want me to repeat? Okay, we are not even, I haven't yet described these steps. The only thing I'm telling you is, we take the source code, we do some pre-processing. I'll tell you what is pre-processing. Then we do some compilation, then some linking is happening, and then eventually my machine code is there. So I haven't explained yet what are these three steps. Okay, Anshul? I just want you guys to know that compilation happened within these three steps. Kostav asked, sir, how are these created, the IDEs? I am not sure how are these created. If I was so sure, I would have built one, right? Okay, Kostav. I'll try to find how are these built, but currently I do not know how the complete project thing happening, how they eventually get to an IDE. So let us start with the pre-processing thing. Pre-processing, or what you call preprocessor. So machine code is the compiled one, right? Machine code is the, I'll show you, don't worry about it. I'll show you a file which is a machine code, okay? So preprocessor handles everything in your C++ code, which starts with the symbol hash. Okay, so can you give an example until now what we have written? Anything which starts with hash? Right, Roshan, right, exactly. You must have seen the hash include. Right, guys? You must have seen the hash include. We call this thing as a preprocessor directive. Preprocessor directive. So now what hash includes does, yes Harsha, another one is hash define. Yeah, exactly. Hash include and hash define. So what hash include does is, it just opens your header file, whatever you have given after the include, it just opens it, takes whatever inside it and just copy paste it in your C++ code, and copies, paste in your code. So for an example, this was a code. Let's say hash include iostream and something already other thing written was here. Okay, something was written here. So this was your code, hash include iostream, and something else was written here. And what my process would do, what my preprocessor would do, it would start searching for iostream. So iostream is present in standard library of C++. It's a very standard library, and it comes with C++ or it comes with C++ compiler. So it will go to iostream. It will go to iostream. So let us suppose this is something written in iostream. Something is written in iostream. So what it will do, it will just take everything from that iostream and just paste it into this file, replace it here. Okay guys, this would just get out, and everything inside that iostream file comes and copy pasted in your file. Do you understand this thing? Yes. And it contains some essential utilities, essential functions which we use, like C in, C out, and many more. Okay, so Samrit says no. Yes, Yogeshwar, I'm coming to your doubt. So Samrit says so. Samrit, just understand this thing. So what happens, Samrit? What happens? We write hash include iostream, right? We write hash include iostream. So this is not C++. This is not C++. This is not at all C++. This is preprocessor code. So what my preprocessor codes does, it searches for iostream. iostream is a kind of library which already have some written functions. There are already written functions which could help us. Itna samajh mein aaya Samvit? Is it clear now? And that iostream has some functions which are already written for us. We do not have to write it again. So what it does, it go to iostream. So consider this file as iostream. Consider this file as iostream. And what it does, whatever is written in this iostream, it will bring it into this file only in your CPP code. This is your CPP code. It will bring everything and put it here. So Ayush says that there will be memory usage when we copy paste the entire thing. Yes, see Ayush, number of lines of code doesn't matter that much. Number of lines of code doesn't matter that much. After compilation, this file eventually becomes full. Okay. So, and what happens is, these are just declarations. These are just declaration. In a .h file, we always only put declarations. We do not give the whole definition of the function. You remember the difference between declaration and definition of a function? Yes, the files with .h or the header files. This file is called the header file. This file is called my header file. Header files usually or always have the declarations only. Okay, and declarations are just only one single line declarations. So it will not take that much memory. It will not take that much memory. So only declarations come here. Is it clear, guys? If we have 10 or 20 preprocessor directives, then the amount of compilation time will increase. You'll never notice it. Yes, a bit, but you will never notice it. A bit, but you will never notice it, Ganesh. One more question was from Ganesh. That says some files are iostream.h and some are iostream. What is this happening? Yes, guys. Have you also seen this thing? So we usually use IOStreamH in C. We usually use IOStreamH in C. So what happened before C++ was standardized? Like for an example, there is UNESCO, there is UNICEF. These are standard bodies. They lay down the rules for us, right? They lay down some standards for us. In the similar way, when C++ was not standardized, there was no body regulating it. So at that particular time, we used to have IOStream.h. At that particular time, we used to have IOStreamH, and we even today we use IOStreamH.h in C, right? But after, yeah, STD, yes, exactly, stdio.h. But after standardization happened, after a body came and said, no, we will regulate C++ and we will standardize it for everybody. So what they did, they recreated the whole library. There is something called namespaces. I cannot explain this to you today. It is still more complicated. They just assume that they took a container and put every library file inside it. And made some new files without this .h extension. Made some new files without this .h new extension. This happened after the standardization of C++. Okay, so IOStream was created. Now the problem was, let's say some company has created a whole huge amount of code using this IOStream.h. A company has created a huge amount of code using that IOStream.h. If C++ would have decided कि now from now on IOStream.h would not work. If C++ would have decided कि from now on IOStream.h would not work, so those companies would have huge losses. Their code would have stopped working. Yes, so that's why that's why standardized body decided that we want to be backward compatible. That whosoever has written the code with this IOStream.h will also work, and whosoever has written the code with this IOStream will also work. Now the only thing was, as soon as you upgrade your C++ version, so now let's say I upgraded my C++ version. Now automatically I am making changes in my code. So I am well aware that some things have already changed. So it quite possible that some compilers or some versions or somewhere you might see after writing IOStream.h that it might give you error. It is just because the compiler doesn't want you to include IOStream.h. But C++ always say that you can include both of them. It doesn't matter. Is this clear, guys? What's the difference between IOStream.h and IOStream? There is no difference. There is no difference. Okay, so let us move forward. So we have discussed hash include. Ganesh, if I keep on answering you these little questions, I will stuck into it. Does backward compatibility can slow down the speed of it? Depends, yeah. It depends. It completely depends. You are not using the current features, so it can slow down the speed. If you are using the latest features, it might not slow down the speed. It depends. It completely depends. What all things are happening? Okay. So now let us move forward. Ganesh, these type of doubts, if these type of doubts, we can discuss at the later end of the class. I am always available till 11 and 11:30. Okay, Ganesh, is it fine? Great. So now, if you want to include some library which is already written or which you are downloading or which is present in standard C++ library, then you use this angular brackets. If you want to use some library either which is downloaded or which is already present in C++ compiler. This is used for libraries or header files which comes with C++, or can be downloadable, right? Which are standardized by C++. Now, if you want to write your own .h file, if you want to write your own header file, which we will be doing in this class, which we'll be doing in this project. If you want to write your own .h file, then you do not use these angular brackets. Then how do you do? Let us say I wrote a file temp.h or anything .h. I wrote a file temp.h. Then I have to use this hash include double quotes and temp.h. Okay, now you have to make sure, this temp.h file is present where your main code is present. In that directory only where your code is present. Otherwise, you have to give a path here. Yes, guys, is it clear? Anybody has any doubt in this? Double quotes and angular brackets? Whatever header file will be written by you will come under these double quotes. Great, great, great. So let us move forward now. So this was basics of preprocessor. Sir, can we use double quotes generally also? No, Prantik, you cannot use double quotes with IOStream. It will give you an error. And if you try to use this with your header file, it will not also work. These are the rules which are laid down by the C++, right? So this is how C++ differentiate between a user-made header file and an already made header file, right? Yes, great. Now let us move forward. Now let me make a diagram and then we'll discuss. So now what happens, until now we were only using one file. We were only making the code or writing the code in one single CPP file, right? Now we will be writing code in multiple files. Can you guys tell me what could be the advantage when we write multiple files, or why would we write code in multiple files when we can eventually write a code in single one file? Why we would want to? Okay, Mahib says it makes our code modular. Error handling will be easy. Great. Easy maintenance. Absolutely right. Better readability. Easy maintenance में आ गया. Prantik says fast. I would say not that much. You know, it is not noticeable. It is not even noticeable. It is a bit of fast, but not noticeable. So you cannot just write more code just because it is fast. Easy to collaborate. That's a very important point. Easy to collaborate. Right? So what happens is, if you are trying to adaptability, right? These all points are absolutely right, whatever you have written, guys. So you know why we write the code in multiple files. If we are going to write everything in a one file, so it will be the responsibility of one single file to manage everything. And let's say somebody new came into the team and I want him to work on some specific part. I want him to work only on, let's say, authentication, or only, let's say, mathematics. I only wants to work him with mathematics function which involves mathematics like factorial or NCR, like multiplication, minimum, maximum. I don't want him to indulge with anything else, but he has to understand the whole code if it's only one single file, right? So absolutely right, easily accessible and is arranged, so easily understandable. Absolutely right. We are actually making multiple points of responsibility. Now I took another person into my team. I can just say you have to work on this single file. You do not have to care about any other file. And one more thing, somebody says fast. So how fast? How can it become fast? We are just writing that same code in multiple files. How can it become fast? Can anybody guess how can writing C++ code in multiple files become fast? Any guesses? We can access file when it is needed. Okay, kind of. No, one can Mahib says because one can quickly switch. No, that would not make your code faster. No, that would make your code handling of your code easy. So what happens is, let's say there is X file, Y file, and Z file. So what happens is, let's say I did not change these files. I only changed this file. So my compilation become faster. Why? My compiler would see that there is no change in this file, there is no change in this file, so I would not compile these two files. I'll only compile this file. Because since there are no changes in X and Y, why would I again compile X and Y? Understood, guys? So compilation becomes faster. Yes, is this clear? Great. So let me quickly draw a diagram to show how the process is working. So let's say P dot P means preprocessor. Guys, P dot P means preprocessor. I am using abbreviation. So this is my preprocessor, this is my preprocessor, and this is my another processor. So here is some CPP file. Here also some another CPP file. Here also another CPP file. We have three different CPP files. Okay, now this CPP files include some header file. It includes another header file. Let's say it includes two header files. And this CPP file also includes one header file. And let's assume this CPP file doesn't include any header file. Okay. Does all CPP files have? No, only Yogeshwar, I'll come to that point. Okay. Just wait a minute. So after preprocessing, these three files, these three CPP files are pre-processed in different way, in a separate manner. Okay. So these three CPP files are processed. After that, after pre-processing, these files are put into a temporary file. Like there was this file you created, CPP file, then another temporary file is created, and your preprocessor put that code and the remaining code in that temporary file. Temp file. So temp file is just your CPP code with your new code which the preprocessor put into your file. Okay, so temporary file is your original code plus some new, you can say, declarations which comes from your header. So this is our temporary file. After this temporary file goes into the compilation process. These three files go separately into compilation. Now what happens in compilation? During compilation, compiler connects the dot that whatever you are using, is everything available? Isn't it key you are using something and you haven't declared it? Declaration is fine, and if you are not using it, it's completely fine. If you haven't defined it, it's completely fine. But are all declaration present there? Yes. Okay. Is everything syntactically correct? Yes. Okay. So these are the things which happens during compilation. Okay, these are some of the things which happens during compilation. After compilation, there is some creation of object files. There's some creation of object files. Or you can say machine code. Or you can say machine code. A kind of machine code. Okay, a kind of machine code. Every file is converted into separate machine code files. Okay, now what happens? These three files combines together and form a project. We wrote these three files so that we can make a complete project. Now what happens? These three files are still on different paths, right? These three files are still on different paths. So now we need something to link them together. There is this linker. We need something to link them together. So now these files are linked together. Until now, these files were separately compiled and converted into some machine code. Is this clear? Until now, these files were separately compiled and converted into a kind of machine code, or we can say object file. Now what happens? These files were interconnected to each other because they were of the same project, right? These files were interconnected to each other. Now all the three of these files would be linked together by the help of linker. And also I told you, preprocessor only bring declarations, right? Preprocessor only bring declarations. Let's say for an example, there is IO stream, okay? And let's say something, it is not like this, but I'm giving an example. Void cin. So cin is a function, cin is a kind of function. So IO stream will just bring this thing. IO stream will just bring the declaration. It will not bring the definition, right? So from where my definition would come? It will never come from compilation. So until now, I do not have my definition. Yes, guys. So this linker brings all those definition and link them with these files. link them with these files. When I am running the code, then only I need the definition. Na? When the compilation happening, I do not care what factorial does. I do not care what factorial does. I only care what factorial does when it is completely converted into the machine code. Yes, do I care until this point what factorial does? Let's say there is a factorial function written. Do I care what factorial does until this point or this point? Do I care what it does? No, I do not care what it does. It should be just perfectly, it should be present. The definition, the declaration should be present there. Ki yes, we have a factorial function. We have a factorial function. We should just know that thing only. And now my linker would actually bring the definition. Now my linker will actually bring the definition and then link these three files together and then eventually form my machine code. Okay guys, थोड़ा बहुत भी clear हुआ? It's kind of machine files, yaar. It's just kind of machine codes. In object file, it's like, let's say this was this. So object file in some language, in some computer language, it is written something address space here, and some in computer language, it is written what this actually means. Not in C++, in some machine language. Which the computer can understand. Okay, until now, I'm not running this file. जब तक मैं रन नहीं करूंगा, I do not care कि मेरा factorial has something in it or not. When I am running it, then only factorial, there should be the definition of factorial present in that. Yes, and the linker eventually bring the definitions. The linker eventually bring the definitions and link them together with all these multiple files. It might be overwhelming, guys, whatever I'm teaching, it might be overwhelming, but just understand a little bit. We'll see what happens when we are coding. You'll get to understand. So temp code is the code written by user, right? Exactly, yeah. These codes are the code written by user. These CPP files are the files written by the user. Okay. Until now, this might seem very, very, very difficult. It took me very huge number of days to put this thing together. I also do not understand completely now that, every time I start reading the book again, compiler, I see, okay, so this is the new thing I understand. Every time I read it, I understand new things. So do you understand the outer process overview of this thing? Any single person who says, no, sir, I do not understand what is happening. I do not understand a single thing. What is happening? No, we'll be seeing how the file is produced. Us file mein kya kya hai? Is it clear, guys, until now? Little bit clear is fine. Little bit clear is absolutely fine. No problem, Costa. It's fine. It's absolutely fine, guys, if you understand it partially. You just need to understand there is a preprocessor which take out some files, which take out some library files. When we'll code, now you'll get to understand it more. When we'll code, you'll get to understand more, okay? So if you're confused with object files, just do not consider this object file, just consider machine code. This is another machine code, three separate files which are machine codes, but now we want to combine them together because they have to work together. So that's why linker comes. Okay, when we code the project, you will understand. Anybody who says no sir, थोड़ा बहुत भी समझ में नहीं आया. Preprocessor समझ में आया? Does everybody understand preprocessor? Yes. The compilation is nothing but syntax checking. Just let us say compilation is nothing but syntax checking. It's very more than that, but just consider this for now. Now these files are my machine codes, which computer can understand, we do not understand. And since we eventually want to find a relation between these three files, we need to have a linker. Bas itna samjho, and eventually it will produce the final code which my computer can execute. Okay, guys? Yes. Yeah, definitely, Mahib. There is a proper subject on preprocessor. There is a proper subject on compilation. There is a proper subject on linker. There are 3 different books for these different things. We cannot just take everything in a single class. Na? I'm just trying to construct a view so that you can at least have a single view. Okay, great. So now I'm going to discuss something which we are going to use in our project. So let us say there is a file. Let us say there is a file, grandparents.h. Let us say there is a file, grandparents.h. Does linker gets a definition of declared function in machine language? Yeah, linker gets in a kind of compiled files. Linker gets in a kind of compiled files. So let us suppose we have a code, grandparents.h, and let us suppose this is our code. This green box is our code. Okay. Let us suppose this green box is our code in grandparents.h. Okay. Now my parents.h file is already also made. Parents.h file is also made. Ganesh, this class is not for this question doesn't have the scope in this class. Okay. How does the error is detected in multi-files? If you want to know, I can refer you a book, or you can have a conversation with me after the class, but this question is not in the scope of this class. Is it fine, Ganesh? Yeah. So there is another, this is my grandparents.h. This is my grandparents.h. And now I am writing parents.h. This .h files are, just assume these are header, these are text files only. Just assume this. Okay. So parents.h. Now my parents.h says that I will not work without my grandparents file. I need to have something from my grandparents. I need to have the information which my grandparents have. So okay, we say hash include grandparents.h. Hash include grandparent.h. Okay, just forget inheritance here. I'm just giving an example here. Forget inheritance. And parents.h has itself a code. Parents.h का खुद का कुछ part था. Forget inheritance here. Inheritance, I'm just taking it as an example. Now there was grandparents. There was grandparents. It has some code. Then there was parents. Parents is कि दादाजी से कुछ लेके आओ. So whatever Dadaji has, we took the wasiyat of Dadaji कि हाँ सब कुछ ले आओ उनसे. So we took everything from Dadaji, and then parents also created something of their own. Okay. Now the child came. Let's say child.cpp. Now the child came. Child was actually writing some code. Child was actually, these were header files. These only had declarations. Now child was writing files. So child says, bring everything from Dadaji. Okay. And then child says, also bring everything from my parents. Also bring everything my parents. And then he says, okay, after bringing this thing, I will also have my own code. I will also have my own code. This is my own code. I will use grandparents.h, and I will also use parents.h, and I'll also have my remaining code. Okay. So now my preprocessor comes. Now my preprocessor comes and says, okay, fine, it's completely fine. Let me bring you the grandparents code. My preprocessor comes and he says, let me bring you the grandparents code. So what he'll do, he'll just erase this part and bring this grandparents code here. Bring this grandparent code here. अभी तक क्लियर है? अभी तक कोई डाउट हो तो बताओ. Is there any doubt until now? Yes, who has a doubt? Somebody says yes, two people says yes. If there is a doubt, tell me what's the doubt. If there is a doubt, guys, please tell me the doubt. I'll just repeat it. There was some code of grandparents. Then my parents says, bring everything from my grandparents and I will have my own code. Then my child says, then the particular child says, bring everything from grandparents. So I brought up everything from grandparents. Then the child says, bring everything from my parents. Bring everything from my parents. So preprocessor goes to parent. Preprocessor goes to parent. So he'll ask, give me the code, whatever you have. So parents.h says, okay, stay for a while. Let me first get the code from grandparents. So parents went away and just to complete his code, he bring everything whatever grandparent have. Okay. Now what he said, okay, now my code is ready. Now my code is ready and take away my code. Now my code is ready and take away my code. So my preprocessor just erase this. My preprocessor just erase this and bring this code here also. Bring whatever was in the parents file, bring here also. So first of all, you bring this because it was also present here. This green part was also present here. Then you also bring the blue part. Do you understand how this child file is created? Anybody has any doubt until now how this child file is created? Yes, no doubt. Now my compiler says, do you guys tell me what happens when I do this? Can you guys tell me what happens when I do this? Int x equals to 10. And in the same file I do this. Int x equals to 10. Will it work? In the same file, I do this statement 2 times. Will this thing work? Yes. Multiple declaration, multiple definition. This is duplication. It will give an error of duplication. This thing will give an error of duplication. You cannot declare or define the same variable twice. Yes, guys. Is this thing clear that this thing would not work? Yes. So how can this thing work? How can this thing work? The same code brought up twice. The same code brought up twice. Yes. So child was getting this particular header file twice. Once he was getting the file directly from grandparent, and once he was getting this file from parents also. Right? Is this thing clear until now? Now this is a problem for us. This is a problem for us. So C++ said, okay, you cannot take care of it every time. This preprocessor will do its work. The preprocessor will do its work, but you can have some guards around your file. तुम कोई guard खड़े कर दो, they'll tell कि no, do not take this. And these guards are called header guards. These guards are called header guards. Now what are header guards? Yes, actually, these two files are different files. Parents and grandparents are already different files. But when I am bringing those grandparent and parent, first of all, grandparent come by himself. Came by himself. But when I try to bring the parents header file, then grandparents again came. Then grandparents again came to the party. You can come only once to the party, right? You can only come once to the party. You cannot come twice to the party. So we need to solve this problem. Do you understand the problem, guys? Anybody has any doubt in this problem? No? Now how to solve this problem? So what we do, let us suppose this was a grandparents.h. What we do, we use another preprocessor directive, which is hash if and def. This is if not defined. Hash if not defined. Let's say some variable, if not defined grandparents. If grandparent is not defined yet, define it. These are just preprocessor directive. These are kind of just like hash include. These are preprocessor directive. This means if not defined. If this thing is not defined, define this. And what you can do, you can put your dad code here. And then you can write and if. And the if part. This part is inside this if and def. And the if part. if part को यहाँ पे end कर दो. इतना कोड समझ में आया? Is this particular code clear? This is the preprocessor code. This would be understood by preprocessor. Yes, Prantik, I can repeat. These are called header guards. These are called header guards. He says, if not defined grandparents, let us assume grandparents is any kind of variable. They are just asking, is there anything grandparents variable existing? So if not grandparents, no, currently there is no grandparents, then define grandparents. Now there is some kind of variable or some kind of constant that says, yes, grandparents is defined. And then put your code which you have put in your header file in this place. We'll see when we will be coding and just explaining you the theoretical part. And then end your if. And then end your if. Okay, Mahip, I'll come to your question. So in the similar way, my parents' header file was created. My parents' header file was created. That if and f parents, then define parents, and include. Now you can put include here. Now you can put include here, and the blue wala code here, and eventually you can do end if. Okay, just understand, we are just putting these guards around our code. We are just putting these guards around our code. Now how this helps us? This helps us. Now this was my child.cpp. This was my child.cpp. Now what was the first sentence? What was the first sentence? Hash include my grandparents.h. Hash includes grandparent.h. Okay, so my preprocessor goes to grandparent. My preprocessor goes to grandparent. Pick this code and paste it here. Pick this code and paste it here. Okay guys, pick this code and paste it here. Yes, preprocessor yahi karta hai. This is what preprocessor do. After putting it here, it sees this code. And it says, okay, grandparents was not defined in this file until now. Grandparents were not defined in this file until now. So we will define something called grandparents. Okay, and we'll put this green code here. Okay, now the next thing was written. Hash include parents.h. So my preprocessor went to this file. Took this whole code and came here. Okay, now he asked, if my parents.h is not defined, define it. If my parents.h it's not defined, define it. So parents.h was defined. And bring this whole remaining code here. Bring this whole code at this position. Okay, now this also includes another header file. So it said, okay, before that, just try to resolve this also. Just try to bring this code also. So from here to here, it come back to here. From this position, it come back to here. And it again asks, says, okay, this code should come with me. Now it again asked, if not define my grandparents. It check karo if my grandparents are defined in this file. Where this code is going eventually, this code will be going to this place. Yes guys, where this code is going to this place. So we checked in this particular file, is grandparents defined? So this child.cpp said, yes, my grandparents are already defined. So what it said, so okay, leave this code here only. We do not want to include this file because this file is already been included here. How we got to know? Because we have defined this variable. And when I went to my parent, my parent went to grandparent to bring this code. But now I checked, is my grandparents defined? Yes, my grandparent was already defined in this file. So it said, do not bring it here, leave it there only. Do not bring it. Yes, guys. Is this thing clear? Does this make any kind of sense? Little bit of sense. So now this file will only be included once. Now this file will only be included once. Yes? One more time a little bit. Okay, no problem. So let us move to the code editor and then I'll show you how it is done. Okay, guys? You'll get a more bit of information, not by writing, by typing the code. So let me just, is there anything other than definition? Will it be excluded to only the parents part? Okay, Momo. See, what happens is everything inside this part will be left here. Everything inside this part will not be considered. Anything written here will be taken. Anything written here will be taken because this if has been ended here. Okay, now you can also consider in this way. You can also consider in this way. Here होगा क्या? होगा क्या? My grandparent part will come. My grandparents part. Let us do this thing. My grandparents part duplicate. My grandparent part came and put here. Okay, Anshul, see. What I wanted first my grandparent part. Yes, I wanted first my grandparent part. Yes, Anshul. So what happened here? So what happened? It will bring this whole code. It will bring this whole code here. Let us assume this code has been here. Okay, Anshul. Just understand कि ये पूरा code if and def के साथ with if and def it came here. Okay, Anshul. Now what happens? Let us start analyzing this. This whole code came here. Now what I want include parents.h. Include parents.h. So what happened? This whole code, we picked it from there and we also brought up it here. Okay, we picked it from here and we also brought it there. And there was this include grandparents here also. There was this include grandparents here also. Now in this place also this code is put. In this place also include was removed and this whole code was put again at that place. This whole code was put again at that place. So like there were two parts, grandparents and then parents. अभी तक ये समझ में आया कि there are three segments now. There are three segments now. Grandparents were put once, grandparents were put again, and then parents were put. Parent का remaining code was put. Okay. Now grandparents का code क्या है? Grandparents का code क्या है? हम grandparents के code पे जाते हैं कि if and if grandparents, क्या grandparents is defined? Until now nothing was defined in child. Until now nothing is defined. So he says okay define grandparents. तो उसने grandparents को define कर दिया कि okay define the grandparents. And since grandparents were not defined, enter into this if and define the grandparents and take this whole code. Now I can access this code. अगर grandparents define होता, I cannot reach to this code. Yes, Anshul, ये clear है कि if grandparents is already defined, then I will not enter into this if. This is a kind of if. This is a kind of if and else. Okay. So अभी तक तो grandparents define नहीं था, तो I was able to access that green code. I was able to access. Then again this grandparent came. From where? From this parents file. Yes. From this parents file. Yes. Now again my same code is executed. Now again I say if and if grandparents. But this time my grandparent was already defined in this file. This time my grandparent was already defined in this file. So this time I was not able to access this green code. Yes, Anshul? Okay, so this time I would not bring anything into it. Is this clear now that now my grandparent file will be included only once? Yes, Anshul? Any doubt now? हाँ, पेरेंट्स कोड विल कम, पेरेंट्स कोड विल कम. व्हाट हैपेंड अंशुल, कि ये जो इंक्लूड वाला पार्ट था ना, ये जो इंक्लूड वाला पार्ट था ना, उसकी जगह ये आया था, उसकी जगह आया था. जब मैंने इसको पढ़ने की कोशिश की ना, देन आई अंडरस्टूड कि नो नो ग्रैंड, ये वाला पार्ट तो हम नहीं ला सकते, बट रिमेनिंग पार्ट तो आएगा ना, क्योंकि पेरेंट्स डिफाइन नहीं. ओके, ग्रेट 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 ग्रेट. Okay, guys, so this was what was header guards. Okay, any person has any doubt, or shall we start? Any person has any doubt? Any single person has any doubt? This is quite overwhelming. I know this you cannot understand in one single go. Great. So let's start. Hmm. Okay, guys. So currently this is my terminal. Can you see my terminal, guys? Yes, great. So this is my terminal. Now, first of all, I want to know where I am present in my directory. There is my computer can there another folder, then there is another folder. So now I want to know where I am currently. So I'll write the command pwd. It will tell present working directory. It will tell me present working directory. So it says that inside users, inside Mohit Sharma. Inside users, inside Mohit Sharma. So okay, I said okay, fine. Now I write ls. Ls means give me list all the files, list all the data inside this Mohit Sharma folder. List all the data inside this Mohit Sharma folder. So it says, okay, application, desktop, documents, downloads. So let us, now I want to enter into documents. Now I want to enter into documents. So I do cd documents. So it is like current directory, make documents my current directory. Okay guys, make documents my current directory. So I enter into documents. Yes. Now after entering into documents, I again want to do ls. And then now let's say I want to enter into IB code. I entered into IB code now. Using this CD, I entered into IB code. Now after entering IB code, I want to create a new folder here. For my project, I want to create a new folder here. So we can create a new folder in Ubuntu and in macOS using makedir, mkdir. Touch help us to create new files, not the folder. Make directory, and let us name this directory as Slither. Let me first of all check if there is a Slither in this. Okay, so there is already a Slither, so make there, let's say Slither 3. So now my directory is created, Slither 3 is created. ls, you can see Slither 3 here. Okay, now I want to enter this Slither 3. cd Slither 3. Now I have entered into Slither 3. Now I want to open a code editor here. You can always open a code editor by going into the search menu and writing Visual Studio Code or writing Sublime Text or anything. Today we'll be using Visual Studio Code. It is created by Microsoft. Okay guys, my Visual Studio Code is created by Microsoft. You can go into its site and you can download the package and you can install it. So to get into my VS Code using terminal, so what I want कि VS Code के अंदर, inside VS Code, just open this folder. So what I say, code means VS Code. This is a command to open VS Code. And what I want to open, the current directory. What I want to open in VS Code, the current folder which I am in. So I try dot. Dot means current path. Okay guys, dot means current path. So as soon as press code dot, my VS Code is open. It might not be visible to you because I have not shared the screen for visible way yet. So until now, are these things clear which we did? Yes, it was not that much typical. So now let me enter into, yeah. So can you guys see my VS Code screen? Yes, great. So let me just maximize it a bit. Okay. Now you can open the terminal within VS Code itself. You can open the terminal within VS Code itself. This is the terminal and you can go till new terminal. Okay. So the new terminal has been opened in the VS Code itself. So now we don't have to use the outside terminal. We can run our commands here only. Now let us create the first file, main.cpp. Let us start writing the code and let us create the first file. So again, as we did, hash include IOStream. Yeah, boilerplate code using namespace std and int main. And let's say cout hello. Now the thing is, until now, we were able to compile our code or we were able to run our code by just pressing that run button on the REPL, right? So now we are going to learn how to actually compile our code. So first of all, we need a compiler. So we are going to use either GCC, G++. So first of all, I write the name of my compiler, G++. Okay, so it is quite possible that in Mac OS it comes installed already, but in Ubuntu you have to install it. So go Google it and see the command of installing G++ into the Linux. I suppose it would be sudo apt get maybe build essential. So this is the command for installing G++ in your Ubuntu setup. Please Google it before actually trying to run it. I suppose with my memory, this is the command. So please do Google it, G++ installation. Okay, guys? G++ installation. You'll find the command to run on the Ubuntu terminal. So it is already installed in my computer. I can check it by G++ V. This will tell me the version of G++. So see, if G++ was not present here, agar G++ was not present here, it would have given me error. But now it is telling me how G++ is present here and it is giving me some other information. Okay. So now I want to run my code. I want to compile my code first of all. So why do I write G++? This is the name of the compiler. Then I write the name of my file which I want to compile. Main.cpp. I want to compile main.cpp. So I entered. So now see, nothing says, nothing hello. But now, can you see there is another new file created, a.out? Can you see? Yes, it is. See, the file is not displayed in the editor because it is either binary or uses unsupported text encoding. So this is a binary file. That's why my code editor is not able to see it or not able to display it, right? So this is my machine code or this is my object file I was talking about, right? This is my machine code or this is my object file I was talking about. Let me show. Yes, Costa will tell you how to clear the terminal. So first of all, let me show this file. Let me give you a hint of this file, a.out. So see this file, a.out, see this file. Can you understand this file? Can you understand this file? Yes. The similar way, computer cannot understand your C++ code. Okay, if you're challenging computer to understand your C++ code, he cannot understand. In the similar way, it is the machine code you cannot understand. It is only understandable by the computer. So this is a machine code. So you can clear your terminal. Kostav asks how to clear your terminal. Control L. Press Control L. Control plus L. In this way, you can clear your terminal or write clear. Write clear. Okay, guys. So this is our executable. This a.out. Yeah, it is Control plus L. Or try, I do not know in Windows, it might be Command plus L. So either Control plus L or I am working with in Ubuntu, in Mac OS, I'm doing it with Control plus L. There is a control key on my keyboard, Control plus L. So this a.out is the executable. This a.out is final executable. In here, it is a.out. In Windows, it is kind of, let's say, it would be a.exe. If you have seen sometimes it exe file. In Windows, it comes out like this, a.exe or something.exe, right? Yes, guys, is this clear? This is my file which I need to be execute. This is the file which I need to execute. Now, how to execute it? Dot slash, and then write the name of the file. It has printed hello. Now, this is the file. Now I am actually executing my code. Okay, guys. So first we compiled, and then now we are executing the code. Anybody has any doubt in this? Yes. Anybody has any doubt in compiling the code? No. Great. Now what I want, somebody says, sir, it is very bad. A dot out, this name is very bad. I do not like it. So what you can do is G++, G++, is the terminal in G++ till now? No, this command was executed. This command was executed. See, Prantik, I executed this command. This command says compile my code. So it compiled the code and it produced a file. It produced this file. Okay. It compiled the code and it produced the file. And now I can run this file. Now I can run this file. It is a separate command, a.out. Okay, Prantik. So now I do not want this file to be named as a.out. So I can change it also. How can I change it? G++ main.cpp. So this part says that this is my compiler. This is my compiler. This is my input file which you need to compile. This is my input file which you need to compile. And now I am telling you the output file. Now I am telling you put my output in Slither. Let's say put my output in Slither. So as soon as I enter it, Slither is formed. As soon as I enter it, Slither is formed. So you can also change the name. This a.out is from previous. This a.out is the previous file when I compiled it previously, right? Now I said, take the compiler, compile this input file. Okay, this O is a flag. This O is called a flag. This O says that put my output not in a.out, put my output in a file named Slither. Okay, I just changed the name. Put my output in the file named Slither. And that's why this new Slither file is created. This is also an executable file. Same file, same kind of file, only name is changed. Yes, guys, is this thing clear? So, yeah, Roshan, what happens is, we have just given him the name. The file is already binary. It is not actually visible. This extension is not actually visible. Only name is visible to us. Okay, it is a binary file. It is still a binary file. So these files can be a.out, it can be a.o, it can be a.so. It completely depends. There are multiple type of these executable files. It depends upon your operating system. It depends upon what you are using, how you are compiling. You are using GCC, you are using Clang. There are multiple compilers. Okay, so it depends upon that. So now this is G++ main.cp or Slither. Now let us just remove these files. This command rm means remove. This rm means remove. And let us remove Slither also. So this is how the way I compile. Now what happens is it is very tedious to write every time this, isn't it? It is very tedious to write every time G++ main.cp o Slither. And if let's say my input file increase, let's say my code is expanded into two, 3 files. So now then I have to write G++ main.cpp. Let's say there is another file called snake.cpp. There is another file, let's say, called food.cpp. Then I have to give all the input files, whatever files I have created for that project, I have to give all the input files because I want to compile all the 3 files as we discussed in that diagram. I want to compile all the 3 files. Yes. So this way I have to give all the 3 files in the input. Then I will Slither, right? So now this becomes larger and larger time by time. So it becomes very tedious to write it again and again. It becomes very tedious to write this thing again and again. So there is a utility called make. Yes, Roshan, we can do that, but again, it is difficult. Even while writing this, it becomes tedious. You do not want to write every time you compile, right? So it becomes very tedious. So there is a utility called make. which helps you automate this process. The only thing which you have to do is you have to create a make file. You have to create a make file here. You have to create a make file. Then you need to give your command, whatever command you want to execute, you need to give that. Before that, you want to give the name to that command. Let us say my command is slither. Okay, then I put this. Then I write on which files this command is dependent upon. On which file this command is dependent upon. Until now, it is only dependent on main.cpp. Yes, until now it is only dependent upon main.cpp. We come into next line, we press a tab, and now we write our actual command. So what was our actual command? Our actual command was b++ main.cpp o slither. So this was my actual command, guys. Yes. So what I did, I just gave a name to my command. Then I gave the files which are dependent upon, the files on which my command is dependent. My command is dependent upon main.cpp. And then I gave my actual command. Okay. So now what I can do, I can just write make. And it will eventually make it. See, slither will come here. Now I just have to write make. Now you will say, sir, what's the benefit of giving this slither? So what happens is, if you write simply make, it will execute the very first command you have given. You can give multiple commands. Let's say we can give next command as clear, and the command is rmf. Let's say we want to delete slither. So this is another command. Now if I do make again, it says slither is up to date. How he was able to check slither is up to date? We did not bring any new changes in main.cpp. We did not bring any change. So it checked that I am dependent upon main.cpp. Has main.cpp been updated? No. Has main.cpp been updated? No. So it will not execute this command. It will say slither is up to date. Don't worry. This slither is up to date because there are no changes. Now if I want to execute this clear command, which is rm-f slither, what I need to write? Make clear. So this way this command is executed. Okay, now I can again execute this slither by writing either only make. If I write only make, the very first command will be executed. Or I can mention that particular command which I want to execute, make slither. So it will run this command and slither will be formed again. Any doubt in this make file, guys? Any single person who has any doubt in this make file? Why we wrote the make file? Understand the need of everything. Why we wrote the make file and how did we wrote the make file? How did we write the make file and how did we actually call it into the terminal? How did we? Now my execution or my compilations command became easier. No, this file has to be make file. This file should be named make file only. This file should be make file only. So Anshul says how you cleared it. So clear. So you can call this make file. You can call this make file by first writing make. If you write only make, na Anshul. If you write only make, it will go and it will execute the first command. Okay, Anshul. If you write only make, it will execute. But you want nahi, I want to execute this clear command. So what you can do, give a space and give clear. Okay. And if you want to make, every time you want to make sure that I want to call it by command only. So this command was named as slither. So you can write make slither. Since slither is already there, it is saying slither is up to date. So let us first remove slither, make clear. So I have removed slither, I have deleted slither. Now I am again going to make. Now this command executed. The command you gave here is executed. Okay. Anybody who has still any doubt in how to compile? We compiled the code and then an executable file was formed and my computer will now execute this. Now I can execute this by writing slither. Okay. Now you can also include this thing into your make file. You can also include कि यार मैं compilation और जो running है ना, I want to do it at the very same time. I want to do it at the very same time. I want to do it that compilation and running at the same time. So what you can do after this command, write and that execute this command and also execute this command. Execute this command and execute this command. Okay, guys. Do you understand? Now let us save the file. Now let us save the file and let us do first of all clear it. If I do make now, see hello is printed. Now it first produced the file and then it also ran the file. Yes. Anshul says, sir, why are you doing all this in Makefile when you can do the same in Terminal Insert? So Anshul, understand this thing. After building a very huge project, let's say I also inputted 10 files here. Okay, I also made 10 files here. So I want to tell my compiler that compile all these 10 files. ठीक है Anshul? I want to tell my compilers that compile all this file. Now tell me, you are checking, you are debugging the code. Will you write every time this thing? G++, main.cpp, x.cpp, y.cpp, z.cpp, temp.cpp. There are multiple files. And then O, slither. And you just want to check a single thing, if it's working or not. Will you write this whole sentence again and again? When you can just write make. It's to make your work easier. It's just to make your work easier, Anshul. Okay, guys. Why are you doing all this? This doubt is clear. Rahul says, how did we create the make file, that orange icon file? So let me just copy it first. Let me just delete this file. So I just created this file by creating a new file and then writing this make file. The code editor itself understood that this is a kind of make file. If you go into the Google Chrome and type make file, you'll see this is a utility. This is a utility built by, it will be present everywhere. If you write make file, the code editor itself understand this is a utility. This is the make utility. Here I write the commands. So make file, it already created this, and then we wrote the code. Yes. Now clear, Rahul? Great. Okay. Yeah, it is just telling me that yeah, this command na, is dependent upon main.cpp. So if you do not have, just bring it up. This is the syntax. You can go and check make file syntax on Chrome. You'll learn more how we actually write make file. This is just telling it that this particular command is dependent upon this main.cpp. Okay, Shrest. It's kind of time. Great. So now we have started our project. We have set up our project. So let us start building it more. So tell me guys, what could be the components of my project? What could be the different components of my project? Mahib says border, score, snake, food, color. Okay, snake. So yes, let us make a file snake where my snake functionalities will be there. Let us make a file food where my food functionalities will be there. Let us make a file UI.cpp where my user interface will be there. Okay. And let us make a file game.cpp where my game logic would be there. Okay. Points will be in the game. Points is the part of game. Right, Prantik? So let us make a file game.cpp where all the logic of game will be present. Mahit says, should we code along with you or after the lecture? It's completely dependent upon you. Just do not ask me doubt ki sir, my code is not running like this, my code is not running like this. If you want to focus on what I am doing, just focus on that and then build the code later on. Okay, if you want to code along, it's your wish. It's completely dependent upon you, but do not ask me, sir, on my system, this is not working like this. Okay, Mahit? Yeah, you can ask me those doubt on Scalar chat, but not here. It will disturb the whole class. So let us start building main.cpp. So we are done with our make file. G++ main.cpp. Yeah. So now, before moving forward, let us just, we also need to create some header files. With food.cpp, game.cpp, main.cpp, we also want to include the main file so that we can connect all these files. So let us also create those header files, food.h, game.h, and let's say snake.h, and eventually ui.h. So now our code structure is absolutely ready, and let us start coding. So what do you think, what would be the very first component which we should build? What is the very first component which we should build? Yes, guys. Screen, UI, border, right, exactly. We should build the borders first. We should build the Prantik headers will be built consequently. Let us do one thing also. Let us put the guards in the headers and then we'll continue. If and def, let us say food, let us name it def food, and has defined hashtag food and eventually end. So let us just put our guards everywhere in every file ui.h. Okay, it was not copied. Let us just change the name def ui. Let's put it in snake.h. Let us put in game.h. Now my guards are ready in food.h, yes, game.h, yes, snake.h, yes, and ui.h, yes. So now my guards are ready. So let us start building the border. Let us start building the border. I also want to show one thing more to you. ls. See guys, this gives me more description. List of files give me the description name of all the files. Now it also give me some more description about this. So this says, let's say main.cpp. This file is main.cpp. So it has reading rights and writing rights. You can read the file and you can write the file. Okay. Now see Slither. Now see Slither. Slither has reading right, writing right, and executing right. RWX. It also has the executing right. So can you see how Slither is different from all other files? All other files has reading right, writing right, but Slither also has executing rights. Okay. So I just wanted to show you this. So now tell me, how would my border look like? How would my border look like? Can I say my border would look like something like this? Can I say I can build my border with hashes? Hash, then again hash. Here also we'll write the hash. Yes, guys. Can you see this kind of a pattern only, which we did before? Can you see this is kind of a pattern only? So what we need to do? First of all, we need to print the top line. Then we need to print this hash and some spaces and then hash again. And then we need to print the bottom line. Yes, guys. Can we build this border by doing that? Great. For int, let us quickly print it. For int, let us first fix the width. Int. Guys, class will go until 10. Okay, is it fine with you guys? Int height equals to 20. Even if it's not fine, I'm going to take the class to 10. Less than 20. I plus plus. And let us quickly print cout hash. Okay, this is the very first line. This will print the top row. Okay. Yeah. In the similar way, we'll be printing the bottom row. In the similar way, we'll be printing the bottom row. So we took a variable, so we'll use the variable width. this will print the top row and this will print the bottom row. In between, we want to print these rows. So how will print it? For int I equals to 0, I is less than height. If you identify any kind of problem when I'm writing the code, do tell me. I'm making some mistakes intentionally, okay? Do find out those mistakes. If you find any kind of mistake according to you. Cout hash. So first I'll have to print hash, then I'll have to print these spaces for int j equals to 0, j is less than width. J plus plus, and then cout space. And then again I have to print a hash at the end of the line, cout hash. And I'll have to give a endl here, end of line. I also have to give endl here, right? Yes. Yeah, we can use metrics, but why to waste space, Dinakar? Why to waste space? We just have to print the pattern. Why to waste space? Yes. So guys, what do you think? This code is just fine. Is there any problem? Right, Roshan, right. Absolutely right. Yeah, exactly. Roshan and Shreyas says that, sir, we have already printed 2 stars, 2 hashes. So space would not be equal to 0 from 0 to width. So space would be from 1 to width minus 1 actually. We have removed from the starting and we removed 1 from the ending. Right? Yes. Is this right now? Is this right now? Is there anything else which is mistaken? Achha, tell me, I have already printed a hash here. I have already printed a hash here from top and row bottom. So how many hashes would be printed? N minus 2 hashes. But again, I'm going from 0 to height only. So won't this loop be like this loop only? Because this hash is already printed when I was printing the top line. And this hash has already been printed when I was printing the last line. So I just need to print n minus 2 hashes in between. Right? So now I'll be starting from 1 and I'll be going till height minus 1. Yes, is this clear? So let us quickly run this file. Let us quickly run this file. Oh, what happened? Okay. Somebody also mentioned it. We need to give endl after every line, right? Not after printing some hashes. So make. Can you see, guys? Can you see? We are able to print our border. We are able to print our border. So can someone tell me, is it fine if we print border like this? Or is there some kind of problem in it? Can you identify a problem? Yes, guys. Is it fine if I'm trying to print a border like this? Will it work for our project? What do you think? Any kind of thing, any kind of problem you think that, sir, this problem will definitely happen? Try to think about it. Tell me, after printing this, can I go and access this particular position? Yes, Gurleen, actually yes. Can I actually go to this position and manipulate it after printing this whole thing? No, I cannot. If let's say I want to make a snake here, let's say if I want to make snake here, then what I have to do, I need to adjust my whole code. I need to adjust my whole code and then reprint it. Yeah, one problem is this is not compatible with my screen. This size is not compatible with my screen. That's one problem. But the main problem is I cannot directly access this particular location. I cannot directly access this particular location. Yes, it is occupied by space. Let's say we do not occupy it by space. We print whatever we want to print here. We want to make a snake of hashes. So we'll print hashes here. But then I have to write a very ridiculous code. Then I have to realize it beforehand that yeah, this location has to be filled with spaces. Yeah, this location has to be filled with hashes. Now all the different places will be filled with spaces. Let us say कि हाँ मैं snake यहाँ पे draw कर देता हूँ by hashes, but these places will be filled by spaces because I cannot put hash here until I put spaces here. I cannot put hash here until I print spaces here, right? So this is like sequence by sequence going. It is very ridiculous to code this kind of thing, right? So because of this thing, because there is need now, understand guys, understand how you create a project. You created main.cpp first, then you thought of how many different files or how many different components are there, then you created those components files. Either you can do it initially or you can make file while you need them. Okay, so now you started with the very basic component border, and then you write the border. Then you eventually realize, yeah, now how I am going to actually display my snake, or how I am going to actually, what I need to do is, I want to take the control of terminal. I want to take the control of this particular position, that whenever I want, whatever I want, I can print here. Yes, this is the problem. Do you realize the problem? Realizing the problem is the most important thing, not the creating of project of whole project or writing the code. Realizing of problem is the most important thing. Now I will disappoint you guys. Will not be solving this problem by ourselves. Will not be solving this problem by ourselves. We'll be using a library for it. If we try to solve this problem ourselves, it will take 10 more days to build this whole project. Okay. अगर हम ये प्रॉब्लम खुद से सॉल्व करने की कोशिश करेंगे, if we try to solve this problem by ourselves, we can solve it. But if we try to solve this problem ourselves, it will take 10 days. So what we'll use the code written by somebody else. We'll use the library given us to us by somebody else, right? We'll use that library. And if you are curious, if you're too much curious, no sir, we want to build that ourselves. So what you can do, I would not suggest it, but go to the code of library, which I am going to include. Go to that library and understand what they have done. And you will feel like, okay, after reading some lines, you will say, no, I just want to use the library. I do not want to know how they actually did it. Because that itself is a different project. Okay, guys. So while building a project, we need to use some libraries which are already made by others. So let me just get this code removed. Yeah, Mahib, I can repeat the problem. So Mahib, the problem is कि the problem is that this particular thing is hard coded. This particular thing is hard coded. After I have printed here, after I have printed till this position, after I had printed this position, I cannot go back and just put something here. Can I, Mahip? I cannot go back and put something here. So what I need to do, I need to sequentially build it. Until the knowledge we have, with the knowledge and now we have, we need to sequentially build it, right? We cannot just directly print here. But to do some graphics kind of thing, we need to have some control over my screen. We need to have control over my screen so that I can put anything anywhere. Whenever you are building some graphics, you need to have control over your screen, right? Is the problem clear to everyone? Great. So let us see how we can do it. Let me remove this whole code. Let me just comment it for now. So we will be using a library called ncurses. So I'm putting this here for your future reference if you need it. Okay. So we'll be using a library called ncurses. So first of all, you have to, this is not provided by C++ out of the box. This is not provided by C++. You have to explicitly go and install it. And the commands to install is in the Ubuntu. If somebody is coding with me, in Ubuntu, this is the command to install it. In Ubuntu, I have pasted in chat also, and I'll be giving you this command. This is the command to install my ncurses library. Now, why I'm installing two things here? There is a reason behind it. Why I am installing this ncurses thing, this ncurses, this particular ncurses library will just give me files like this, compiled files. Slither. Okay, this thing will just give me compiled files. So we cannot just use the compiled files. If I want to include IOStream and then I am printing cout, so compiler need to have the declaration of that function which we are using. Yes, compiler need to have the declaration of this function. It is just like you downloaded a game and you just downloaded the exe file and you executed it and you will play the game. Okay, it's like you just downloaded the exe file and you play the game. Okay, but now you are doing development. Now you are doing development with those executables. With those executables, you also need the declarations file. This is why it is called dev. You also need those declaration files where there are declarations written. Until you do not print that file here, na, you won't be able. अगर मैं यहाँ से ये हटा दूँगा ना, if I remove this, it will say कि cout is not defined, but cout is not declared. Do you understand this, guys? It will say that cout is not defined. And as soon as I make it back, it will say, okay, cout is declared. We need at least the declarations. We need at least the declaration. So compiler is very much happy with the declaration. Compiler doesn't want to know what is happening inside the function. Compiler is very much happy with the declaration. So this only contains the compiled files. It only contains the compiled files. This actually contains my header files. Okay, guys? Yes? Okay. And if you are on the Mac OS, you can install it by brew install ncurses straight away. It will bring everything. It will bring everything. Okay. So now it is already installed in my computer. It is already installed in my computer. Now, if you want to locate, if you want to see, so first of all, you have to include it into a file. Include curses.h. Include curses.h. You have to include it to use it, right, guys? So that you can bring about the declarations. Now, if you want to see this curses.h file, if you want to see this curses.h file, what you can do, you can use this command, locate curses.h. So it will give you everything where curses.h is lying. So let us pick this. Let us pick this and let us open it into VS Code. Code and the path. Code and the path. So now see, this file has been opened. This file has been opened. Now see the structure of this file. First of all, comments. Now see those headers, those header guards. Yes, it also contains those header guards, and then it contains some defined statements. It also if you come at the later stage, you'll find some functions, you'll find some variables. This is a very huge file. It is quite difficult to understand because you do not know everything until now about C++. So it is quite difficult. So this whole file gives me everything, gives me every declaration. Okay, guys? Any doubt until now? Yes? Any doubt until now? Guys? No? Great. So what we did, we included curses.h. We included curses.h. Now, how to use it? There is a function. Okay, fine. There is a function called move. It's a function which is provided by cursor. So it will take you to the coordinates you are printing. So let's say I'm printing 10, 10. So it will take me to the 10th row and 10th column. It will take me to the 10th row and 10th column. Okay, guys. This function will take me to the 10th row and 10th column. So what I do, I went to 10th row and 10th column and I print a hash there. Okay, so let us quickly try and run it. First of all, let me save it. Yeah. Prantik, I don't understand. Then we have to define arrays always for a UI. I don't understand, Prantik, what you are saying. So make. So it says undefined symbols for architecture move. It is saying it is not defined. It is not defined. It is not saying it is not declared. If you remove this file, if you remove this file, let us see what it would say. Make. A very huge error. So see the difference between the errors. Now it is saying no matching function for call to move. He was not able to find any kind of function, but as soon as you provide curses.h, as soon as you provide curses.h, it receives a declaration for it. It receives a declaration for it. And now, after I compile this particular part, it says undefined part. It is saying undefined. Can you guys guess why it is saying undefined? This will be a huge guess. I do not expect you to guess it. But can you guys guess why it is saying undefined? Why I am building it? It is saying undefined. This move function. Anybody? The hint is linker. The hint is linker. Until now, exactly, Shreyas, exactly. Until now, I just have the declaration with me. Until now, I just have the declaration with me. So you will say, sir, कि IOStream की भी तो सिर्फ declaration है हमारे पास. You will say, okay, if this gives us only the declaration, if the header file only consists of declaration, then we also have the declarations of IOStream. Then how this cout is working? Why it is not giving me undefined error? Isn't it, guys? If you are saying that sir curses.h will only bring the declarations, so it will be applying to the same IOStream also. It will also bring me the declarations. How I am getting the definitions? So guys, if you remember, while making the linker, remember that diagram. Remember that diagram. While making that linker, I told you library definitions are taken by the linker. It is the linker who brought up the definitions, who take the definitions from the library and link to our codes. Do you remember? I made a library symbol over there. Yes. So what my linker does, it take all of these files, and it also includes all the definitions from my libraries. Until now, I only have declarations. I explained to declaration in the functions. Then at the last part, my linker will say, okay library, अभी तक तो ठीक था. It was fine कि compiler was not asking about my definition. Compiler was not asking about the function definition. It was just asking about declaration. But now I want to have the declaration. You gave me the, now I want to have the definition. You gave me the declaration, but before making the executable file, also give me the definitions. Okay, now what happens? So you will say, sir, we never told the linker that take these definitions of IOStream. We never mentioned anywhere. So we should not mention for curses.else also. But what happened? IOStream is the standard library. IOStream's definition comes with the compiler. So it is automatically included. We do not have to explicitly give the definitions. The linker can eventually find out the definitions and put together. But this curses.h is explicitly installed. ये curses.h जो है, ये हम बाहर से लेके आए हैं. We have installed it explicitly. So now I have to tell my compiler कि take these definitions. Now I have to tell my compiler that okay, my linker doesn't know about this thing. This thing will be gone. This hash include will be replaced by some kind of code. Yes, guys? My preprocessor will replace this statement, right? My preprocessor will replace this statement. So how do my linker knows कि some kind of curses has already come? How my linker knows कि मेरे को curses का definition भी लेके आना है? My linker doesn't know. My linker knows for IOStream because it is standard library. It comes by default, but it doesn't know for curses. So we have to explicitly tell my linker that bring the definitions for curses also. Link the curses library also. So how do we do it? We do it by writing it here. We do it by writing while we are making the command. How do we write? -l, -l, that is link, -l, that is link n curses. Also link n curses. Compile this file and -l also link n curses. Is it clear, guys? Is it clear, guys? I'm repeating the whole process once again, the last time. What I'm saying, we have taken the declarations. We have taken the declaration. So let us say there is a function void fact. Okay, what I have written some code here. So this whole thing is a definition. This whole thing is a definition. It tells us what the function do. But this thing is the declaration. This thing is the only declaration. I'm telling how my function is structured. And my compiler only wants this. My compiler doesn't want what is happening inside it. Okay, my compiler doesn't want anything. But when you are going to linker, na, there should be already compiled file which contains this. There should be. नहीं तो syntax error भी तो आ सकता है ना. There should be already present a compiled file. Okay, so now this is I have my declarations. Now preprocessor will do what? Preprocessor will remove this stuff and paste some code here. Paste some declarations of curses here, right? So how my linker know कि मैंने कोई curses नाम की चीज भी add करी है? We have added something named curses. My linker will know that there is some C++ code here. That's it. So now I have to tell explicitly to my Now I have to explicitly tell my linker that link this library also. Get this library and link this library also. Is it clear to everyone? Anybody has any doubt in this? Yes, guys. Tell me, anybody has any doubt in this? I need more answer other than Prantev, Kostav, Mahip. I need more answer. There are 26 people in this class. I'm feeling like I'm teaching only to 4 to 5 people and nobody else is understanding. Great. So we have included, and now we have also makefile. Let me save the makefile. We have also linked it. Let us run it now. Let us run it now. Make. Oh, what happened here? Hash is printed here. I want to print the hash on 10,10, but my hash is just printed here. Interesting. My hash is just printed here. No, Prantik, no. This rows and columns is not of array. This note of rows and columns is not of array. Just imagine there is a 2D plane. Just imagine this screen is a 2D plane. This screen is a 2D plane. Okay, so I want 10,10 location of this screen. So it is saying yaar ki now what is happening? It is printing hash here. It is not printing hash at this kind of place 10,10. I want the hash to be here. We have already imported the header file. So now what happens? Let me run a command for you. htop. Can you see this beautiful interface? Can you see this beautiful interface? Now this command actually tells me about all the processes running in my system and information. Now see, I can click anybody and it will sort. If I click this CPU percentage, it is sorted descending order. So now this screen is in mind control, right? But you observed one thing. Did you observe one thing? That my terminal went out and this temporary screen appeared. Yes, that my terminal went out and this temporary screen appeared. So in the same way, my ncurses work. In the same way, my ncurses work. Ncurses put things on a temporary screen. Ncurses puts things on a temporary screen. So for that we have to first initialize a screen. So init scr. This would initialize a temporary screen for us. Okay. This would initialize a temporary screen for us. Now what I am saying, a screen is initialized, go to 10, 10 and see out hash on it. Go to 10, 10 and see out hash on it. And in the end, also end that screen. And will terminate that screen. And will terminate that screen. Okay, so let us try to do this. Make. It still not worked. What happened? The reason behind is this cout works. This cout works for the terminal, this kind of terminals. Now this code doesn't make any sense. So to print on that temporary screen, we have to use another function of for that screen only. Add ch. Add a character. Add ch. If you want to add a string, you can add str. Add ch, and now I want to put on that screen hash. These are the functions given to us by this curses library only. Okay, if you go to the curses library, let me print a link. I have pasted a link in the chat. This is the reference to the ncurses library. You can refer it. So these functions are present in the ncurses library. Now let me save it and let me run it. Make. Okay, so characters are needed to be in single quotes. Still nothing happened. Can you guess why? Still nothing happened. What happened? I initialized my screen. I moved to 10, 10. I printed hash and I ended my screen. It happened so fast. We were not able to notice it. Yes. So what we can do is, after printing it, no time allotment. Yes, Dinakar, yes. After doing this, we can wait for an input. After doing this, let us wait for an input. Get ch. Wait for a character to input. We have to input a character. So what will happen? My screen will be visible. I will go to 10, 10, will print it. And before ending, we'll wait for a character. So let me quickly run it. Now you can see at 10, 10 this hash is printed. At 10, 10 is hash is printed and my screen is waiting. My screen is waiting for a character input. As soon as I press anything, it will go out of the screen. Yes, guys? Is this clear? Yes? So shall we stop here or do you want to print the border? Yes, we'll do Prantik that. Wait for it. Relax. So shall we stop here or can we print the border also? Guys, I want everyone's affirmation because later on you should not say that class is long. Okay. Let me take a poll first. Then let me take a poll. I have to take a poll. Quickly take me a poll because it will take approximately 10 to 12, 15 minutes. Yeah, it will take. So guys, we have to stop. I think we have to stop here. Eight people have sleep. I think they are not focusing even on the chat. So okay, this was it for today. We have to stop here. Okay. Dinakar says at this pace we need more classes. So Dinakar, actually we need more classes, but again we cannot put more pressure into it, and I have to make sure that everybody understands. Was the pace slow for this class? Tell me this also. Was the pace slow? Anybody who felt the pace was slow, we should have gone more faster. So I cannot do anything. Roshan says yes. I cannot do anything, guys. I do not want to cover more things. I want to cover, your doubt session has started. So if anybody wants to leave, any can leave. I want to cover everything in quality, right? So I have to go it slowly. Even we have to take more classes or even we have to pack our schedule. So I cannot focus on quantity. I need to focus on quality, guys. Okay. So now anybody who has any doubt can stay in this class also. If anybody has any doubt in this class also can stay. Otherwise, using leave. How to master the Ncurses thing or try your test. Prantik, never master any library. Never master any library, yaar. It's only you have a problem, go to their site, identify the problem, how can you solve the problem, okay? Okay, Prantik, just go to the site and see how can you solve the problem, bring that function and try to do it. Sir, not able to download Ncurses in Mac. Kaustav, have you installed Homebrew? So first installed Homebrew and then try it. Shreyas, I pasted the link. Let me just again paste the link. This is the link for your what? Kaustav, it comes installed, yaar. Ncurses will be already present in your Mac. This is for Ubuntu. The command I have pasted is for Ubuntu. Guys, I'll be pushing this code on GitHub and I'll be sending you a link. Okay. I'll be sending you a link of this code which we have done today. And refer the code from there. And I'll also put the commands there. In a README file, I'll also put the commands. Okay, guys. Okay, Roshan says that lib ncurses 6 dash dev is not present. Okay, Roshan says lib ncurses 6 dash dev is not present. Lib ncurses dash dev is present. So I'll check it. I do not have an Ubuntu laptop, but I'll try to check it somehow. Roshan, it works what we have done with today. It works everything fine. Great. So guys, rather than okay, great. So rather than writing a 6 at the end, also just remove the 6 and then try. Rahul says dual boot setup is also important, sir. Rahul, what I'll be doing is either I'll be sharing any resource or I'll be giving a recorded video to you where you can watch the audio and then dual boot it. Prantik says, sir, could you No, Prantik, I would not suggest you anything. Just solve the problems you were given in the assignments and the homework. Kaustav, I'll find a solution and tell you. Just give me the error, whatever error it is. Just ping me on the scalar chat and I'll tell you the solution. Okay, Kaustav. So Prantik says, sir, could you suggest some small projects that I could try on this game itself for the time being with the knowledge I have? Prantik, you have only 2 days. On Thursday, we are going to have a class. So don't worry about it and do the problems there. If I go and check your problem percentage now, and if it's not under percentage, then you are asking me this doubt, then I'm going to give you something. First, solve the assignment problems. This project is just to make you realize how to make a project. Don't start the project itself now only. Just focus on the assignment problems, okay? How did you create a file in terminal initially in VS Code? Shreyas, you are asking about the directory. How did I create the folder? Okay, so this is the command for it. mkdir, make directory. If you expand this line, make directory. mkdir and then the directory name, let's say ABC. So if I press this mkdir, you will see ABC folder is created. Yes, you'll see ABC folder is created. And then you can remove ABC. ABC is a directory, okay. Uh, I don't remember the. Let's remove it like this only. Shreyas, is it clear? MKDIR ABC. Or you can go and create a new folder. That's always right. But it's good to work with terminal. It's good to work with terminal. Somebody comes and you are working with terminal. The guy will be flattered or the girl will be flattered. Okay. So it's good to work with the terminal. More you work with the terminal, more you learn. Any doubt? Any more doubt, guys, in today's class? It's a happy day for us, isn't it? Whoever watches cricket, it's a happy day for us. It's a huge day for India. If you are not asking doubt, I am just starting a conversation. You can leave the class, whoever want to leave the class. Doubt session has been started. Your attendance will not be detected. So whoever wants to leave, leave. Very unexpected. You would think very low of our India, huh? Watched Master. Master is a series or movie? Dinakar. Oh, Maheep. Tamil movie. Acha, acha, ha. Okay, okay, okay. No, I haven't watched Master yet. So Maheep, installing dual boot is a very, very, very risky thing. Your computer many times goes into some kind of, problem. And why did guy formatted your laptop? Yeah? Even yeah, sometimes you have to format your laptop. Great, Dinakar, great. Ha, Kaustav, right. How we started was very bad. Can't you hear my voice? Yes, I am speaking. Can anyone else hear my voice? Yes, everyone can hear Kaustav. So Maheep, everybody, if you do not know how to dual boot the system, guys, relax and watch a video which is actually credible, which you can see that there are multiple views. Do not watch a video and just like that only. It will ruin your computer, guys. So try installing the dual boot with a very, very, very perfect video. The best test match I have ever seen. No, the best test match for me is there was a test match in England, Ashes series, Australia versus England. Ben Stokes, Ben Stokes made England won single-handedly. Only one wicket was remaining, and Australia didn't. Hmm. So for me, that was a real great test. It is one of the greatest tests also. What is dual booting? Anshul is asking what is dual booting. So Anshul, if you have Windows, you can install another operating system along with the Windows. It is what we call dual boot. Okay, with Windows you can also put Ubuntu or any other kind of operating system. It is risky in the sense while you're installing, you can go into some kind of problems and then you might have to format if you do not follow the proper process. Ha, right, Dinakar. Like having two SIMs on a single phone, right? Mahip, you can use virtual machine, but virtual machine might, mm, there might be some problems on virtual machine. It might get slow, your computer gets slow. If your computer specs are fine, if your computer is not hanging, then you can always use virtual machine. Yes, Costa, I'll check. Good night, Prantik. Okay, good night, Costa. Bye bye. Chalo guys, bye bye. We'll meet you on Thursday. We'll create a lot of things on Thursday. We'll talk about a lot of things on Thursday. And guys, do give any kind of constructive feedback you have. If you think some things could be improved in the class, I would be very happy to hear those things, okay? Please do give some constructive feedback if there is any. Please do let me know. Okay, good night, guys. Bye bye.